Welcome to the Dennis and Judi Show on demand. Thanks to our sponsor, Value City NJ, with 9 locations in New Jersey or online at valuecitynj.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the show so you'll never miss a minute. New Jersey 101.5.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Bet Parks Casino and Sportsbook app, New Jersey chime time. 10:09, Dennis and Judi Show. I'm Dennis Malloy.
I'm Judy Franco. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good
I'd like
morning.
to get this one rolling right away. By the way, I wanted to thank everybody who participated in yesterday's hours. One of the most creative questions of the week we had. And I had an idea, Dennis, on my Instagram. I actually asked people if they have a question, because they're asking us to ask a question of the week every week.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know what to ask. So if you guys have a question of the week that you think, especially if you think it could garner as many responses as yesterday did, Dennis, so many people are like, I was home listening, hysterically laughing. I was in my car, rolling on the floor. I got to send you some of these comments. It's unbelievable.
Really?
I know. Yeah, because people were letting it all hang out.
Yeah.
They were just like, yeah, this is a great place. The governor's awesome. And the vaccines are whatever, you know. And it was like true Jersey snark in its most finest form. In its finest form. So anyway, yeah, you were talking about this interesting new thing that restaurants are doing. Wait, is that what we're starting with?
Yes.
Got so confused.
Yes.
Where they take a deposit if you reserve. And we paid $100 deposit when I was in Florida for 4 people, $25 a piece. It's not per reservation, it's per person,
Right.
to go to this restaurant. So, and when we ended up backing out, they're like, I don't care if your arm is severed, unless we have 2 people to replace you, you're coming.
Right. Or were you being... Who said that?
Like the other couple that
the other
invited
couple.
us,
Yeah.
they're like, you're coming. We paid $50 for you to come, just for you to reserve this. So we're like, oh, I don't feel now. Unless your arm is severed, you're coming.
Yeah, I don't blame them. The margins are tighter and tighter at any small business, restaurants definitely. So yeah, if you bail now, I've had to cancel reservations a few times. I either cancel it on Open Table, or I'll call them and go, listen, I can't make it, because I don't want it to be sitting on the book and then somebody walks in, they have a walk-in, and they say, it's an hour wait, and then they walk away when they could have given my table. I get it. I get why these restaurants and businesses charge what they charge. It's nearly, especially in this state, it's nearly impossible to stay in business.
That's right. So people, we want to ask, how do you do it? What is your MO when it comes to making reservations at a restaurant? Do you try not even to make a reservation, just to go in at the last minute so that you don't have to deal with this hassle? Do you call the restaurant? A lot of times when they don't have resos on, like
Open Table,
Resi or Open Table or any of those websites, I call the restaurant. I'm like, look, I see there's no availability on the internet. Is there any way you can get me? A lot of times they can. I guess they save a certain amount. And especially if it's like in an hour from now.
Yeah. If it's for the regulars or special people, maybe they set a few. So just like they do with tickets to a concert or rooms at a hotel or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't like to wait. I almost never show up at a restaurant. And if we're going to go to a restaurant where they don't take reservations, there's some places that just don't take reservations. I get it. Right. I got to get there at 5:15 at the latest. And I know that's old person.
You're sleeping over from the night before. Dennis is in a tent outside on the curb the night before.
I'll show up early because I know, most people really, it gets swamped. But after 6:37, it's swamped. So you want to go to this place? They don't take reservations. We're getting there at 5:15. If not, and I know that's old person time to eat, but I don't.
I think 6:30 works. 6:30 usually works.
I mean, that's what the
Okay,
time I'd like to eat, but it's swamped.
Oh, 6. Oh, no, I've never seen. Well, not never, but I mean, I find 6:30, you're good. 6:30.
Yeah? What?
Most of the time, yeah, because who could eat dinner at 5:30? I mean, I guess there are people who eat dinner at 5:30, but for me, that's lunch. I would be like, okay, 8:00, what do we eat now?
I don't
But
understand.
I do find, what?
It's not, I say to go at 5:15 or 5:30 to avoid waiting. If a place doesn't take reservations, go early
Right.
so you're not sitting in the lobby for an hour. I do not want to sit and wait. So 6 or 6:30
right.
is the
I'm
perfect time to
saying-
eat. But if you go without a reservation, you're going to be sitting in the lobby for an hour.
Okay, well, that hasn't been my experience, but
Wow.
I get your point. You
Yeah.
show up. No, my experience is 5:15 is too early, but if you show up at 6:15, 6:30, you go right in. Once at 7:00, you can't go right in.
Oh, I see.
That's
I
for
see.
sure. I'm just saying, all I'm saying is you're 100% right. Got to show up early. I'm just saying where I go, I guess, is not as popular as where you go.
No, it's
6:30 is a good time.
it's probably
What's the difference? Anyway, the point
Dinner
is,
might be a little later.
my MO is show up 6:15, 6:30, you get right in. Your MO is show 5:15, you get right in. If the place doesn't take reservations. If the place does take reservations, and you could call a half an hour before, sometimes, like you said before, they're saving for VIPs, for their friend who said they were going to eat there tonight. But we both understand why they got to charge, because you're going to lose a table.
If you're in the mix, in the middle of all the raising kids and all that, maybe twice a month, you know?
You know, I had another question about this, Dennis. It was going a completely different way, but I'm curious about this because I get a lot of anxiety when they tell you, can we have your credit card for reservation? I have places where I go, like a salon, hair salon, even some doctors' offices are like, if you don't show or you don't
Right.
cancel within 24 hours, we're going to half charge you or full charge you, whatever. And I'm like, I'm not organized enough to commit to things like that sometimes. And now almost all beauty salons do it, where they take your money just for a reservation. I get why they do it. You're asking them to give you 3 hours out of their day.
Right.
You know, but I get so much anxiety. And my doctor, I had to cancel a doctor the other day, the day of the appointment, and the service answered, thank God. And I was like, can you let the doctor know? It was like 6 a.m. Can you let the doctor know I'm not coming in for the 8:15 appointment? They said, yeah. So I called up to reschedule. Like, well, we never got the,
Yikes.
and I said, well, I called 6:15. She says, we require 24 hours in advance. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do? Charge me? It's a doctor's office. What are you going to ask my
Did they?
insurance company for no, they didn't, but you could tell they were like implying that I needed to. I said, I woke up this morning with diarrhea. Like, I didn't know this 24 hours ago.
You're a doctor's office. You understand illness, don't you?
I know.
All right. 1-800-283-1015 is the phone number. Restaurants starting to charge a $25 reservation fee per head. So do you agree or disagree with that? And what is your MO? Do you make reservations routinely, or do you just show up? I look at people sitting in the lobby waiting, and they go, that's why I don't take the bus. That's why I have a car. I don't like to sit and wait somewhere. 1-800-283-101.5 is the phone number. 1019, here's fine. We're talking about making reservations, and some restaurants charging a $25 reservation fee. And if you don't show up, they'll charge you $25 a head. Judi, I think we need to broaden this out to just eating out and Jersey restaurants in general. There's that concept. Do you agree or disagree? There's, what is your MO? Do you go, without a
And
reservation?
just hope.
And just hope.
Keep your fingers crossed.
How many times a week do you go? And
Well, what do you think you go?
one to two times a week on the weekend.
All right.
I cook all week generally, sometimes not, but so
For
weekend.
me, it's seasonal too. Like, we're supposed to go out for dinner tonight. Mark tells me this morning, he's like, it's raining. You want to go? Like, we hate going out in the rain. Like, you want to back out? I'm like, yeah, we're going to back out. But in the summer, we're out probably like 2, sometimes 3 nights a week. And also, like, you want to cook less in the summer.
Right. All right. 1-800-283-1015.
And also, somebody appreciated your saying that I was free and easy, Dennis. But I disagree. I'm easy.
But not free.
No.
All right.
Boots, clothing.
Let's go to Mark in Jersey City. Hey, Mark.
Guys, how we doing?
Good. You know what? I've been dying to go to Jersey City the last couple of years because I hear about all these fabulous restaurants that are opening up and the vibrant social scene.
It's the new Hoboken.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
It's funny you said that. I just posted something today saying the new Hoboken is Harrison. Because Jersey City now got way too expensive and way too fancy schmancy for a lot of millennials.
Right.
So they took over Harrison. It's still kind of affordable. It's still in the metro, the New York City
You know what
metro.
else they're also calling the new Hoboken?
What?
Cranford.
You're kidding.
Yeah, because they built all those townhomes or condos or apartments and then bars and rest of the main drag. It's all young people.
But
so everything's
is it
the new
a
Hoboken.
suburb of NYC?
Yeah, Cranford. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people there's a train station there. You take it to Newark and then connect from Newark.
Right. Well, so Harrison, I guess, also has this new train station, which always, anytime you build a new transit hub, it's like just call out the millennials.
Right.
They're running because they don't have cars. They don't even know how to drive.
And then make sure somebody publishes an article calling it the new Hoboken, and they'll be there.
That's all. And by the way, that was in 2019, the New York Times. And you could still get a house for like $375, like a 3-bedroom house.
Days ago.
Now the houses are $675, but that's still very cheap for that area.
Wow.
You know,
Mark, you eat out about 5 times a week?
That's funny. That's yes, I do. That's funny. I don't know if I consider Harrison. That's odd because Hoboken has the Hudson in New York as a view,
Right.
and Harrison has the Snake River. You know, that's a little
Right.
different. But
true.
anyway, yeah. I don't cook. I'm a big foodie. I actually do food reviews, Beakus Picks on Facebook. But yeah, I mean, I'm not big on this surcharge for reservations. Actually, I've called and made reservations when they tell me there's a charge. In the past, sometimes I pay it and sometimes I just walk away. But I understand it. You know, moving forward, I may have to because I think that's where all these restaurants are going to. So I do understand it, but I'm totally not a big fan of it.
Mark, since you eat out I'm not, nobody's a fan of it, but I understand it, and you do too. It's just that it's so hard to make it today in the restaurant business. A friend owns one with his brother, and they've kind of inherited it from their dad. But to get into that business today, he said it's impossible. You have to be a big mom and pops that have a big restaurant anymore. That's nearly impossible to do here in New Jersey. But Mark, have you noticed when you eat out a lot that the portions are a little smaller?
You know, I did for a while there, but it's changing, and that also depends on where you go.
Right.
You know, some of the better restaurants do have larger portions. You know, and some of the smaller restaurants obviously have smaller portions.
Are you a big guy?
I'm not. I'm 5'7", 200 pounds.
Yeah.
But I love to eat. I love food. You know,
Yeah.
something wows me. I write a nice little view on my page.
Very good. All right, Mark. Thank you. Appreciate the call to New Jersey 101.5. Tony's in Brick. Hello, Tony.
Hey guys, good morning. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Doing very well, thank you. I wouldn't mind them doing that. However, the caveat should be, and it's happened several times. I used to go out a couple nights and usually weekends for breakfast. If you're going to give me a reservation, if you don't sit me within a half hour of that time, you should give me $25
Yeah.
a person.
I agree. I've never had a reservation lately anyway.
Wait, say that again?
Well, if they don't seat you within a half hour of you showing up for your reservation, give me
Right.
$25.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so true.
I
What's
get
the point of
seated
a
right away,
reservation?
but I remember in the past, after you make a reservation, you still have to wait. And it's like, no, that's not how this works.
It's a shame because and I understand because their costs have gone up so dramatically, and people don't realize the cost of fuel, their delivery costs go up, their electric costs. But again, you tell me to be there at 5:30 for my reservation, and 6:30 I'm still waiting. I'm not really happy about that.
Yeah, no, that's unacceptable.
It's crazy.
All right, Tony, thank you. Appreciate the call to New Jersey 101.5. Do you agree with the restaurants charging a $25 reservation fee? And what is your MO? Do you go and just hope for the best, or do you always make reservations? And how many times do you go out and eat?
You know what you could do is
week.
go to the bathroom in the place, sleep over,
Hide in one of the stalls.
stow away. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
As soon as they open, boom, you're there.
It's 10:30. Okay. All right, Dennis and Judi show. We're talking about eating out. Restaurants might be charging a $25 reservation fee, and if you don't show or cancel, not within time, then you'll be charged $25 a head. Do you make reservations or do you just show up to eat out? How often do you eat out? Have you noticed portions are getting a little smaller because the margins are so tight?
Some people are writing in on the app chat. Well, I'm sorry. Let me just give the phone number, 1-800-283-101.5. Restaurants are really feeling the pinch when it comes to the higher cost of goods, when it comes to the credit card charges. And so people are starting to charge you for a reservation. And then, of course, the assumption is if you don't show, we're going to charge you anyway, right?
Right.
So somebody's writing into the app chat saying restaurants should not charge $25. They have walk-ins. We don't go to those places. Maybe there are those people, Dennis, who if they see you charge for, there are a couple of restaurants, if I see they charge, I won't go because first of all, I don't want to get charged $100. It's $25 a person normally.
Right. And they add that to they deduct that from your bill, or they don't put the charge on your card if you show up.
Right.
Right.
No. I think they put it on your card.
And then at the end of the
hold it.
And the meal comes off.
I guess.
I would assume, yeah.
I mean, I'm not usually one who pays the checks. I don't know, come to think of it. But
yeah, that's got to be.
What do they do?
They either wipe that charge off when you show up, because who knows of the 4 people whose card it's going to be on,
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's true.
Or they deduct.
And then what if people go, we'll have separate checks? Well, who do we credit the $25 to? Right. But can a company or a merchant just hold $25?
Yep. And not.
So that's what they do.
Yeah. And if you show up, then they just cancel that. Also, you mentioned a place that needed 48 hours notice to cancel because it's so ridiculously popular.
Right.
Trying to think in my area if there's a place that is just so wildly popular, you have to make a reservation weeks, months in advance. The only one I can think of is Chef Nola not Chef Nola, Cafe Vola. Or no, was it?
Chef Vola.
Chef Vola, that's right. Chef Vola in Atlantic City. I've never been Atlantic City many times, never been to Chef Vola. Don't exactly, then it used to be you had to know someone. You had to know someone to even get a reservation. Now they say, you don't need to know anybody. You have to make a reservation weeks or months in advance. Is it still that way?
I have no idea.
And you've never been. I've never been. What is the big deal of that place? It's in an old house, and I think they serve the food family style.
Well, I think, in a place called, I have no idea about that place, but I think in a place like Atlantic City, we're always lucky when we stay in a resort in Atlantic City. So many of them are friends of the radio station or they're sponsors or they're advertisers or whatever. I can usually get a reza when there are none, okay? Because you call somebody, thank God, we're lucky that we know some people in Atlantic City. But I think regular reservations, you must put money, at least for some of the,
in Atlantic
some
City?
of the really popular ones. Yeah, because imagine trying to get into Il Molino just on a random Thursday night or Saturday night. You'd never get in.
Pleading ignorance here. What is that?
Il Molino is like a world-renowned restaurant Italian. They have one in Miami, one in New York City, one in Atlantic City.
What hotel?
It's in Hard Rock.
Okay.
And they were there from when it was Taj. They've been there forever.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know. I don't know that they charge, but I'm just saying it would make sense for a restaurant like that to charge because any bum off the street can just say, "Hi, I'm coming in tomorrow," and not show up. You should have to be able to.
Now, do they take walk-in? Can you just walk in and?
That's why I'm saying I don't know if anybody could ever get a reservation. I mean, anybody could ever just walk in there. It's packed not packed. Atlantic City restaurants in resorts are busy all the time. Could anybody just walk in? I don't know.
Did I tell you one time I went to a fancy place for lunch, I guess it was. But it was their brunch. It was on a Sunday. And she said, I liked it because it overlooked the park. And it was in Philly, and it was nice. And the lady said, do you have a reservation? I was like, no, I don't. Is that okay? She said, yeah, just to let you know, it's only 25 person. And I thought
It's
she
what?
said, well, that's what I did.
Oh.
And I
remember
didn't
this
say any.
story.
I thought she said $25 a person because
Yeah.
what can you do with eggs? $25 a person sounds
Right.
a little pricey to me, but okay.
Right.
It was $125 a person.
Uh-huh.
And I said, yeah. And
So how'd she say it again? Give me that again.
just to let you know, it's $125 a person. And I should have said, excuse me, but I felt like I was a little like it was a pretentious, not pretentious place, but like a hoity-toity place. And I don't want to seem like Joe from Southfield, like, what'd you say? Hey, get out of here.
Funny that you're saying that because
And I swallowed the $250 it was horrible.
you have to. What are you going to do after that?
It took me weeks. No, it was a long lunch out,
Oh, so it wasn't somebody like you needed to impress?
No.
Because if it was like your daughter, I'd be like, dude,
We're out of
we're
here.
not doing this. But
I didn't realize until the check came. And he said, so put on.
So there's this store. It's a small, extremely expensive, extremely elegant gourmet shopping grocery store.
Right.
Okay. It's like picture like a Whole Foods, except for 10 times more exclusive and small.
Okay.
So they have one here, they have one in the city, they have one. So like I never ever go in there because a salad is like $22. You know what I mean? And a takeout little salad. So one day I go in and I'm like, there's this salad that looks unbelievable. It was the first and last time I ever went in. And everybody's talking about this place. They have like a little fake chicken, just what I love, the vegan chicken on the side and 400 different homemade salad in like a plastic container. And I turned to somebody who worked there and it turned out, I didn't know this, but it was like the owner. Okay, he just happened to be there. And I said, how much is this salad? And he said, you have to ask. I don't think it's good for you.
Really?
And I was like, he was like joking, because of course, but he was kind of like, don't ask the price. There's no price on anything. So
how can you? Is that legal?
No, I don't see why not. Just ask how much the price is. Anyway, I bought it up. I knew that it was expensive.
You can only find out at the counter, and then you're too embarrassed to go, that's ridiculous.
Right. Who's going to go? That's your shirt.
What? How much was the salad?
But I knew already. It was like $17. Wow. And it was one of those regular square, like this big, whatever, 10-inch
container
takeout containers of lettuce.
There must have been other great things in there.
No, there were. I told you they had that vegan chicken in it. They had a egg white salad, which I love. But it was just like, you have to ask this. Maybe this is not the right place for you. All right. Yeah. So anyway, spring is here, people. And you know what that means? It means you're going to be back outside doing what you love, hanging out with your kids, playing football, playing pickleball. Do you want to not be in pain? Well, then you need to go to Trinity Rehab. If you've got pain right now, you are not listening to me, dumbbell. Call Trinity Rehab today. It's unlike any other place you've ever tried. It's been like a miracle for me and for so many of us who work here. No prescription needed, same-day appointments, and fast results. So whether you're recovering from surgery or just looking for pain relief, their team of doctors provide the most comprehensive physical therapy available, and it's never been easier, and it's never been better. I went there for this shoulder impingement that I had. A lot of people told me it'll take 6 months. It's going to take a year. Don't even bother. 6 weeks later, I was out of pain. Ask about their EPAT therapy. Gets people better in 3 5-minute sessions. A lot of people don't have this acoustic pressure wave therapy. Just call them. Trinity Rehab, 800-518-0977, or go to trinity-rehab.com. They're in network with Aetna and Blue Cross Blue Shield. They have dozens of locations in New Jersey and PA, like Wyckoff, Piscataway, Paramus, Clark, Manalapan, and Wall. So you know there's one near you. For more details, visit trinity-rehab.com.
Dennis and Judi show. We're talking about eating out, and some restaurants charging a $25 reservation fee that if you don't show up, they'll charge you $25 a head because they need to make money and you skipped out on an obligation. With margins getting thinner, restaurant reservation sites are not only asking for credit card info to secure a reservation, but some are charging as much as $25 a head if you don't show up or cancel at the last minute. Yeah, it says if you're a potential customer and you're trying to get a reservation at the restaurant that you want, but the time you want, they say, is an hour wait. So you say to them, leave me on the list. And then we call 2 other restaurants that we'd also like to go to and compare times. We pick one of the 3, but we never call the other 2 back. And that happens a lot. If I've ever not been able to make a reservation and it was too late to cancel it on Open Table, I call the place and go, listen, I can't get there. I mean, it's just common courtesy. But today, we live in such an impersonal world because of everything just clicking it online and, you know, and the people.
That's what I love, as you know.
I know. But
I don't do business with anybody. Okay, can I tell you the funniest thing? But first of all, I go to, if Resi doesn't have anything, if Open Table doesn't have anything, I go to Resi. If Resi doesn't have anything, I go to Google Reservations. Sometimes they have.
Plead ignorance again. What is Resi? Is a reservation thing?
Same, yeah, like Open Table.
How do you spell
thing. RESY.
Okay.
That's where, in fact, most of the restaurants I go to here are on Resi. And then it's funny because in the city, most of them are more on Open Table. I don't know why that is. Like sometimes I'll look on Open Table and like, no, there's no such restaurant. And it's only on Resi and then vice versa. But also Google Reservations has like a thing but they have very few. Like some of the restaurants put their reservations right on Google.
Right.
So you can book it from there. But, you know, you say I always say I only do business with people who text because I can't stand to call people. I was trying to get somebody to work in my house, okay? And the person kept calling me and I kept texting, I can't talk now. Just text me. Are you available this day, that day? And then they're calling, whatever. Finally, I said, listen, my phone is broken. The speaker is not working. Hoping to get a new phone in the next few days, but I can't.
You speak
talk.
for a living. You should be able
That's
to communicate.
why.
What's it going to take? 3 minutes to go, yeah, okay, come Thursday. Thursday, 2:30?
People talk too much. People over-explain things. People waste time.
See, I want the nuance and the details in the voice, whereas
okay,
you
get
miss.
you from me because I'm your friend, but you're calling a painter. You want his nuance?
Yeah, I mean, what do you need? Do you need me to clear out the room? Do you have a big ladder? Will it fit?
Do you need...
I said sometimes you miss
thumbs
stuff.
working.
You miss stuff on text that you can ask. Oh, but wait, before I forget, do you have, just talk
and
to
the guy's like, I've been calling you. And I'm like, I know, I've been texting you.
You actually told him your phone was broken.
Told him I can't really talk. First, 3 times I'm like, hi, can't really talk. Because I'm in a meeting.
Right.
Can't talk. You can text during a meeting, right? Or I'm in the movies or I'm in the bathroom. He didn't get the message. So finally I said, my phone speaker doesn't work. Something's wrong every time you...
I don't want to talk to you. Just say, I don't want to talk to you. I only text.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I've noticed in stores and in public, people seem to be less friendly. And I think that, to hear my theory, we got really closed off and divided during COVID. And then when we were let back out in public, we kept the same demeanor of, I don't know you. I'm not having close contact with you.
Dad,
I'm
you're
not
100% right.
Yeah, I'm not even making eye contact.
Let me add something to that.
Yeah.
BLM, where now they created this whole CR thing where they're assuming that they want white and black people to hate each other. So that created a divide.
Yeah.
Then there's Donald Trump, who if you don't spit on him every time you see him, that you can't be friends with him. That's a divide. And I was reading something last night on Instagram where somebody said, I don't know if you, I follow this really, really beautiful Instagram, I don't know what she is, social media personality or whatever. She's black and she always is interested. She's always a proponent of colorblindness. And she says, when did it happen that if somebody disagreed with you, you automatically hated them? They're your enemy.
Yeah.
When did that happen? And unfortunately, I think that's what you're feeling.
That's bubbling. That's been bubbling for a while, but I think 2020
solidified it.
Yeah, but just in general, not even amongst people you differ with, just among people you don't know. Everybody's Nobody smiles at each other. Less, I smile at everybody, just like almost out of spite. Like, hello. It just seems like
Mark
an
does that
unfriendly,
also.
an unfriendlier world
by the way,
since 2020.
just if I can shout out, I will never stop shouting out Africa Brooke. If you follow her in any way, shape, or form, she's the most inspiring person that I've ever known in my life. I don't know her, but
Africa Brooke. Okay, good. 10:56 now at New Jersey 101.5.
So listen, spring is, I did that one already. I'm sorry. So listen, spring is here. So you want to make sure that your home is going to be up to snuff. This is building season. And if you want the cabinets of your dreams, you can go on the internet and stuff. But believe me, that is only the beginning. You must see and feel and touch all of the countertops and kitchens and what else? Cabinets for yourself. And Builders General will offer free design for any cabinetry project. Not only that, but they have all of the brand names that you love in not just kitchen cabinetry and countertops, but also decking and windows and doors and millwork. Brand names you trust like Anderson and Azek and TimberTech. This spring, it is the time. Refresh, renew, and renovate using the best materials and advice from Builders General. Try getting those from the big box stores. Please stop dreaming about that perfect kitchen and make it happen with Builders General. They'll even find you a reputable contractor if you need one. Get started today at buildersgeneral.com. Builders General is an authorized Anderson dealer. Anderson, they're not just a window, they're peace of mind.
Parks Casino and Sportsbook, New Jersey. Chime time is 11:09. Dennis and Judi Show. I'm Dennis Malloy.
I'm Judi Franco. Great to be here with you, people.
I forgot to shout out my friend Jim last week.
Forget Jim.
Yeah, he runs iHousewatch. It's EYE iHousewatch. And he has house watching, like for people who have properties at the shore but don't live there all year round, especially on Long Beach Island. He watches their, for a fee per month. He'll go check everything in the house. If you want work done while you're not there in the summer, he gets a contractor, gets the work done.
Such a good idea.
Yeah, so it's a great guy. He's so easy to deal with, so professional. Jim at iHousewatch, EYE Housewatch. Thanks, Jim. Anyway, speaking of houses and moving and stuff, a lot of people have storage units today. There was a big fire at one in Hamilton Township in Mercer County earlier this week. We had a storage unit for a little while my mom was around. We sold the house, right?
Right.
So what do you do with all the stuff?
Right.
Put it in a storage unit. And my friend says, our friend Al, says, you're just going to end up throwing that away when she dies. I go, well, yeah, well, we don't, she's going to move into...
Weren't you right? Wasn't he right?
You always 100% right.
Yeah.
When she passed, we had to throw it all away. I got a guy who cleans out places and just throws it all away.
It's the worst.
So he came and so not only every month did we pay for a storage unit for 3 years, I had to pay a guy at the end to empty it out and throw it all away. Other than the
did
pictures.
Anybody ever go in there and say, let me just look around, or at the end of it, you just tossed everything?
We did go at the very end. We went, do you want this? You want that? It was like, pick this memorabilia,
I know. This is the worst.
We thought that all was going to go into a house she was going to live in with my sister. It never happened. She did go live with my sister, but there wasn't room, and that had...
Right.
So then, at the end, it all just went away. But who has a storage... I hope to never, ever be in the storage unit business again. But
oh my God.
You never know. You might have to.
You never know. And I'm telling you, you get ruthless at the end. You're like throwing away, in the beginning you're like, oh, this is before she was married. This is so sweet. And at the end you're like, I don't care. Cut the pictures apart and shred all the photos. But it's her wedding license. I don't care. Throw it away. I mean, it got ridiculous towards the end.
And at the end, it ends up in an envelope that you put in a drawer, and someday your kids will finally go, this was Grandma's.
Exactly. And especially because my mother was a pat rack. Anyway, I don't know how this
Pack rack.
happened. Huh?
You said pat rack.
Pat rack, right. She was, but she also was a pat rack. And that was the most difficult thing to throw away, was that rack was worth something. I don't know. Anyway, phone number is 1-800-283-101.5. Storage places. For a while, Dennis, you and I were of the opinion that if you have a storage place in a storage facility, you've made some bad decisions in your life, right? We always said you've either had a drug issue, you got kicked out of your apartment, your wife threw you out for your, alcoholism, whatever. And then we're like, you know what? Maybe, well, especially when you had to have one, maybe there are legitimate reasons. It's funny because the only reason we don't have one for my mom's crap is because we're 5 siblings with 5 houses with 5 basements. So basically, we just split up the crap that we ended up keeping. And I would say each one of us has like 2 or 3 of those big Rubbermaid plastic containers, which still need to be gone through. Like we got her whole life, my parents' whole lives, down to each one of us having 2 of those big or 3 of those big Rubbermaid things. And it's like, now I still have to go through that. There's something in me that wants to throw those away, but that's like when you said it's all condensed now into one envelope. Right. Kind of, but it's really all condensed into 3 Rubbermaids.
Well, I just took the papers and pictures that I wanted, and it fit in a big envelope.
Right, right.
And stuff.
Well, I don't know. We're girls, so there was a lot of like, but this
Tchotchkes,
platter and whatever. Towards the end, it was horrible. We brought in a dumpster on wheels into the apartment, and we started throwing away like platters, and then my sister would be like, how do we know this isn't worth something? And I'm like, I don't care. I mean, that's what it was.
When it does get down to that point for everybody, it does. Yeah. So do you have a storage unit? Why? And what's in your storage unit? 1-800-283-1015. Used to be a lot of drug reps, pharmaceutical reps, legitimate, had storage units because they had a lot of product and samples and tchotchkes to give to the doctors, which I don't think they're allowed to do anymore.
No, I don't think so. Although, my doctor did say he had a bunch of samples in
samples, but none of the merch that they used to give away. Like
they can't give that because it's like paying somebody to promote.
Right, they can only
payola.
They can only give large donations and vacations to senators and congressmen who make the laws about pharmaceuticals, but not the doctors.
That's funny. That is funny.
It's not. It's true. Funny but true. So, do you have a storage unit, and why? What is in there? Does it ever work out where, I had a storage unit for a few years and then we moved in and I got rid of it? Or is it always like we wasted a lot of money in a long period of time?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And is it ever like that you really needed
and
it?
Your stuff maybe ends up on that show. What was that, Storage Wars?
Oh, yeah.
Where the bald guy yells, yep!
Yep!
I used to watch that. That show. Is it still around?
I think so.
And there was a married couple in there. All right. Kathleen is calling from Williamstown. Hello, Kathleen.
Hello, Dennis and Judi. This is Kathleen, your favorite certified professional organizer in New Jersey.
How are things, Kathleen?
Our favorite.
Things are well. Just wanted to go along quite a bit with what you're saying about storage units. I help a lot of people clear out storage units, and 9 times out of 10, they don't even remember what's in there. There's been rodent damage, insect damage, water damage.
Okay, I heard an alarming statistic from somebody in your industry, Kathleen, so I want to know if you can corroborate this.
Okay.
Somebody I know does this for a living, and she said her average percentage of stuff that she can help somebody toss before they move is 90%.
Well, I think it really depends on the reason for the move. So, like, if someone is a growing family, maybe not so much. But
but I guess she specializes in couples who are downsizing from big houses to like 55 and older communities. So you're now emptying a lifetime full of stuff.
That's right.
Like Dennis did with his family and I did with mine. She says she can get you down 90%. That's the percentage I want.
Well, I think that's a really great goal. Most people aren't that driven let's just say. And then they go to their place maybe with 70 or 75% of their things, and then they realize, oh my gosh, that organizer was right. None of this is going to fit. So sometimes it takes people a couple, opportunities, let's say, to really decide and get rid of their things. But yeah, 90% from a full, 4-bedroom, 3-bath house to, a little 55 and older condo probably is a solid number to try to shoot for.
Yeah.
How many storage units have you been to, Kathleen?
Oh my gosh, I couldn't even tell you. Yeah, and then it's even gotten to the point where some people will just basically open it for me and say, "You decide," because it's just so much stuff gets damaged.
What's the name of your business? People are listening and might want to get your help.
Oh, thank you for that. It's Magically Organized, and I'm in Williamstown, New Jersey, but I go all over Jersey, Philly, Delaware. So I've gone as far north as New York City and as far south as Maryland.
Magically Organized?
Yes, that's right.
All right. And is Geet's Diner still there?
It is.
Okay.
It's owned by different people now. I've only been there once since the new people took over, but I understand it's still very good.
Kathleen, thank you. Appreciate the call. Of all the diner names in all of New Jersey, Judi?
What is that? I never heard of that.
Oh, Geet's Diner. It's a landmark in South Jersey, yeah. It's in Williamstown.
Wow.
Geets. Geets.
Huh.
Must be.
Amazing. It sounds like, something they serve.
Geets.
Yeah. Would you like the fried or the sauteed geets on
I
the
like
side?
my Geets fried, if you don't mind, and make it darker on one side.
It's like grits, you know what I mean?
Right, Geets. How's your Geets? Grabbed me right in the Geets. Killed me. It's 11:19. Time for Fact. Dennis and Judi show. Talking about storage units, there was a big fire at one in Hamilton earlier this week. Who has a storage unit and why? 1-800-283-1015 is the phone number. Pamela is calling from South Carolina. Hi, Pamela.
Hey, Dennis and Judi.
How are you?
I'm well, thanks. I love you guys.
Thank you. Are you from here originally, or are you from South Carolina?
I am originally from South Carolina. I lived in Jersey for a really long time, but I relocated back to South Carolina to care for my mom who has Alzheimer's.
Do you like it down south?
It's okay. It's no Jersey.
Wow. What do you miss about Jersey?
Property taxes.
Doesn't everybody?
Yeah. So you have your stuff in a storage unit somewhere?
So a big thing down here is that people buy those
Pods?
train cars.
Oh. Okay. What do you call that?
They're like containers.
Yeah, the shipping containers that go on the back of 18-wheelers, and you come off the
they
come off the truck, off the boat, and So they buy those, and they just put stuff in there.
Put stuff in there. My dad bought one several years ago. It's in the backyard, and there's a bunch of stuff in it.
I can't. I've seen these, I think, in people's driveways. Wait.
The pods is different. Pods.
That's not what that is?
No, it's like a shipping container that you'd see on ships or on the back of trucks.
Right. Wow. Let's say that's the South. In the South, there's no zoning, and you got enough land, I guess, to do it. Whereas here, the township would be ripping you a new one day one.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
but people have so much space that they can do it. So the one that my dad bought, I think it's like 53 feet. It's like huge.
Does he have a lot of ground?
Yeah. It's acres and acres. It's got to be like, I don't know, 10, 12 acres around here.
Oh. And then, is that where you live? You live with your folks?
Well, my dad passed away a couple years ago, which is why I had to relocate to come take care of my mom.
Right. But so it's just you and your mom?
Yeah. I have siblings, but they don't live here. So right now in the house, it's just me and my mom.
Are you the oldest or the youngest?
I am the second of four.
Oh, okay. Because usually it falls on the youngest or the oldest too. And
right.
Yeah, to take care of mom. Wow. All right. What part of Carolina are you in?
It's the Greenville area.
I hear
What is it?
Greenville.
Oh, Greenville. Oh. And isn't that like a really up and coming
Yep.
part of the state?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really growing. I mean, every time you look, there are new apartment communities going up. They're building subdivisions. It's really exploding.
Are
there.
you getting annoyed from it?
No.
Okay.
Because it was kind of a sleepy place 30 years ago, and now I hear it's bustling and happening, a lot of young people there and stuff.
Yeah, so Greenville is probably what Charlotte, North Carolina was maybe 15, 20 years ago. But it's definitely starting to grow.
Is it a college town? I don't know.
No, Clemson is not very far away, or maybe about an hour away.
Okay.
But it's not really a big college town, no.
All right. Well, I listen. I might buy a shipping container and move down and live in there because it's going to get real expensive.
Well, it's not really, really cheap in the Greenville area, I guess, relatively speaking, compared to New Jersey.
Right.
But it's getting pricey there, too.
That's why I'm buying one of your shipping containers. I'll live in that. I'll live in that. All right. Thank you so much, Pamela, for the call.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. Appreciate we miss you here. Appreciate you listening.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Because going back to those pods for a minute, I see some people like in my neighborhood or close by who have them in their driveways 24/7, 365. And I'm like, did they do that instead of having a storage container?
Yeah.
Or is this like their summer? Like I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is their summer home and they're like summer furniture's in it, or I can't figure out what those are. Is it in lieu of a storage container?
Yeah, it was designed for put it in there, and when you move,
It's so ugly.
yeah,
You know?
put it in there as you're moving. The 2 months it takes you to put all your crap into a.
But they're not.
And
They're there
then
like forever.
We'll
now.
move it for you. We're pods. We'll move. But yeah, I see people have them in their driveway forever.
Yeah, you do too?
Yeah, so it made it for them. It's in lieu of renting a storage unit.
Or like a garage. They don't have
Yeah,
a garage.
right.
Or their garage is filled with a car.
Right.
So they just throw junk in there. And then also, how do you get into that?
What do you mean?
Those people who have that thing in their
Yeah.
driveway, the pods, if you want to put something in there, how do you get in?
Yeah, there's a door
Yeah.
on the side or the
So
back.
you can't really use it as like, it's not like a storage facility where you could go in and out, is it?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been seen one up
I want
close.
to get one and just use it as like an
and live in
apartment.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
1-800-283-101.5. Why do you have a storage unit? And how long have you had it? Your call coming up. It's 11:30. Dennis and Judi show. We're talking about storage units. The one caught on fire, but a bunch of them caught on fire at a place earlier this week in Hamilton. Do you have one? And then people started calling and saying they have alternative ways to store their stuff. Like down south, they'll take a whole shipping container. I've seen those shipping containers converted into little houses, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're allowed to do it here.
No, I did a
Like in
post on...
California, they do it.
Yeah, I did a post on tiny houses, small houses. New Jersey's the worst state to do it in. You can't
The funny thing is, San Francisco has been forced to do it. And that'd be a town, and California as a whole is a state that would be all over like, no, you can't do this.
Right.
We're going to restrict you from doing this. But they have to because there's no place for anybody to live.
Yeah, it's too expensive to buy anything.
Yeah.
So
Dennis, a lot of people are talking about their neighbors who have these
pods.
ugly things parked in their driveways. A lot of people will opt for the storage unit, but then there are those people who want these things parked in their driveways. So is it a problem for you? I would kill myself if my neighbor had this stupid storage thing parked in the driveway. It's hideous. It makes it look like you live in an industrial park. And why do people leave it there forever? Can somebody explain? 1-800-283-101.5 is our phone number. It's literally a storage container, just like the one that woman called to describe, the one that they have in North Carolina. But because it says POD on it, I guess it's supposed to like look a little better. I don't mean to diss this company. They're they obviously have a great service that is highly popular. And I guess people really need it. Is it cheaper than having a storage unit? I'm not sure. But I don't understand why you need to have it in your driveway. Also, sometimes I see where it's like parked in the driveway and I'm like, when they drop it off, can they maybe just drop it in the backyard so people don't have to look at it?
I know the Unabomber was a bad guy.
Yeah.
But he kind of had the right idea.
Why?
You live in a shack in Montana. You don't have any stuff. You don't have any traceable way of people finding you. It's
right.
I look at my garage sometimes and go, what? And then
I'm reading some of the app chat notes here, Dennis. Somebody wrote, it's literally a storage container, like that one caller said, yet they have a sign that says the name of the company on it. I don't want to keep on trashing this company, so I'm just going to keep it to myself. Right. Another person said, one of my neighbors has had that stupid thing parked in their driveway for a year, and I'm over seeing it. They're ugly and an eyesore. And then somebody said, my mom has dementia, lives in memory care. She slowly downsized over the years. Now I have one storage unit full of her stuff. Her stuff is beautiful antiques. My issue is finding the time to go through it. But I am definitely wasting a lot of money over a long period of time. This is what keeps me up at night. You guys are inspiring me to get my butt in gear. Also, I love you guys. Thank you, Laura.
Did you see the one at Sandy from Browns Mills? I have a climate-controlled storage unit for over a year now. I got remarried last year, and now I'm saving all my stuff for my daughter after she graduates from college. She will have an entire apartment and will not have to buy anything but food. If you've got like a whole apartment ready to go that you're going to pass on to somebody because you got remarried or your situation changed, you moved to another state, perfect. Rented for a year. What are they, $200 a month, $250 a month?
I have no idea. No idea.
It was on my credit card for a while, then it got switched to another credit card, but I think it was like $2-something a month.
I guess it depends on how big it is.
I was there when we moved the stuff in, and I was there when we moved the stuff, when we went through the stuff we needed and called the guy to just throw the rest away. It's kind of sad, but I think that's how most of them end up.
I know. So somebody should just eliminate the middleman, take it straight from your parents' house to the dump. But it feels so bad. Dennis, it's the same thing with food in your fridge. Anytime we have something that we bring in, and I'm always like, okay, I'm going to save this. And Mark's like, you're never going to eat it. I'm like, I know, but we barely touched it. And it was $14, whatever, the pasta. He's like, do me a favor. Is it going to make you feel better to have it in the fridge overnight instead of just dumping it in the garbage right now? And I go, yeah, it is.
It is. It's 2 days or a day of like looking, go, yeah, at least we didn't throw it away. We weren't wasteful. Yeah. And then you go, well, now it's spoiled, so I can't eat it. It's
exactly. So it's the same thing with your mother's storage unit. You know, if you throw it in the garbage right away, it feels horrible.
You're a heartless,
put it in the storage
callous human being.
Exactly. But if you put it in storage, it smells a little dusty now. Right. Oh, my God, there's like a little mold in here. Ooh, even though they're temperature controlled and stuff. Yeah, but I don't know. These pages are cracking. Put them in the garbage. Right. Mom wouldn't want us to have these all cracked.
The $253 a month is penance you pay for the sin of actually throwing it all away.
Exactly.
At the end of 2 years.
So why do you have a storage unit, or is it just because you feel guilty to throw away your parents' stuff? 1-800, or your grandma's stuff, 1-800-283-101.5, especially because Laura brought up her mother has dementia. My mother didn't, thank God, you know, she was pretty lucid up until the last month of her life. If your mother has dementia, how can you throw her stuff away? How can you throw her stuff away? It's like you're throwing away the stuff of a woman who doesn't even know. Well, she's dead, so she doesn't know anyway. Right. I know, but I could picture her with dementia. You know what I mean?
So you're saying it would be more of a sin to throw it away while she's still alive and has dementia?
100%. Yeah, like my dad.
She's not going to snap out of it and go, by the way, where's your dad's cufflinks that I saved? No. She's not snapping out of it.
Like my
father. It's the perfect excuse
mother,
for throwing it away.
I know. But you know how like these mental things get to you? Like,
yeah.
I couldn't throw my dad's stuff away for years because he just went to sleep one night and then dn't wake up.
Right.
So to me, he's like still alive and kicking. But my mother's like, all right, for a couple of months before she died, she wasn't really with it. So it's like, to me, it's like, yeah.
But
she doesn't know.
There are other reasons people have storage units. Business, if you have inventory, you can't you don't, maybe you have a business from home, you sell lighting fixtures, you don't have the room in your house for it, you buy a storage unit. So why do you have a storage unit, business or personal? And how long have you had it? 1-800-283-101.5 is the phone number. It's 11:43. We'll check fast traffic and take your call. Coming up.
All right, listen to me, people. Judi Franco here, inviting you to discover the finest kitchen appliances at Town Appliance, the only place I will ever shop for appliances. And it's because of the great experience I had last time I bought my ovens, which was like, I don't know, a couple months ago. I had gone into a couple of stores, actually, to look around, and there's nobody that can tell you the difference. There's nobody that is an expert on what they do. And so then you go to Town Appliance and you really feel the difference. You start online, townappliance.com. You get a personal sales consultant ready to assist you. Then you learn about all of their range of products before you go into the vibrant showroom. Friendly, knowledgeable staff there are on hand to guide you. Your dream kitchen appliances are waiting for you at Town Appliance. Visit them in store. Tell them I sent you, or online, townappliance.com.
It's the Dennis and Judi Show. It's 11:50. We're talking about storage units this hour because there was a big fire in one in Hamilton earlier this week. I wonder how many people said, oh, thank God all my stuff burned. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Or do you have valuable stuff in there? It's really the purpose of it is it's a value. You don't want to throw it away, but you don't have room in your house, so you rent a storage unit. But they a lot of times end up to be just an expense and a pain in the ass, and at the end of the whole time period, you end up throwing it away. Or you don't show up and somebody auctions it off on that TV show.
I think that TV show is in like California, so I doubt they're doing it here, Dennis.
I think you're right. It is somewhere in California. Let's go to
Dennis,
Tessa.
just so you...
Yeah.
Tessa, hang on one sec. Dennis will know where this is. There is that thing in a driveway off Skeet Road in Medford. It has been there for years. The wording is getting so faded. I cannot even imagine how much they've spent on the rental. It's not cheap to dump those things because the next person said they use it for basement remediation or remodel, but they do sit there for years. Do you know the one she's talking about?
Skeet Road, yeah. I'll have to look next time I go down there, which could be today. I'll look for it.
I mean, years. The words are faded.
Wow. I remember
Tessa.
When I bought my house 20 years ago, they just came out. And the guy said, yeah, I'm getting one of those pods and I'll put my stuff in and eventually we'll move.
Also, are they the only company that does it? Because God bless them if they are. I mean, I never see like Joe Schmo's storage container.
Well, if they've got the market sewn up, why don't we start a company called FODS? It looks similar, right?
Right.
The F and the P are similar.
Okay. But PODS kind of stands for something. I'm trying to think what would FOD be.
No, we're just ripping off that company, that's all.
Oh, okay. All right.
We have the same color and everything.
I actually have a better idea, and it would probably work for you and maybe some of your relatives. Just get one of those storage containers, call it BODS, and you can,
store body, yeah.
People that you don't get along with that you might have, taken care of, throw the bodies in there.
Yeah.
Just call it BODS.
It's in a box in a driveway. What do you want? You didn't pay up. BODS. Perfect. I love it.
What do you call the boxes where you store the bodies?
BODS. Call us up. We'll take care of you. Tessa is in Elizabeth. Hello, Tessa.
Hello, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm well. This is actually my first time ever calling in a radio show.
Well, thank you for doing that.
Yes.
You have a storage unit?
Yes, I do.
Why?
So, to answer your question, I've been in my apartment for 5 years. The landlord decides to sell. Give me a 60-day notice. I couldn't find anywhere to move within that 60 days.
Right.
Just brought bedroom sets. Just brought a year prior. So I decided to put in the storage because they're new.
Right.
I have. Yeah, so, but to answer the question about depreciation, yeah, I've been paying $175 a month for now going on about 15 months.
Where did you move to? Back with family?
Yeah, back with family, staying with the sister.
Wow. And no prospect of affordable rent anywhere?
No, not for me. See, I've been in that apartment for 5 years, and my rent was $900.
Yeah, forget it.
Now that I moved
Does it
out,
ever make you ever feel like you might want to just put a bed in there and sleep in there for just a night or two to get some privacy? Yeah.
Oh, yes. If that unit did not close at 7 p.m., I would be out there after work.
Now, you considered roommates, boyfriend, girlfriend? What have you considered?
Well, see, it's just me and my 2 children. I have a 17-year-old and a 15-month-old. So I also was giving birth while I was trying to move.
Oh, man.
She wanted to sell her house.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what happened. So now I'm in a room with my sister, sharing, at her apartment.
Right.
Sharing a room with my 17-year-old, a 15-month-old, and a dog.
Wow.
Because everything out here in Elizabeth is $1,800, $2,000.
Yeah, easily. What kind of work do you do, Tessa?
I'm actually a CDL instructor. I'm, training people, teaching people how to get their license so they can make all the money in the world. Right.
Well, listen, every contact you make, ask them, hit them up and say, of any, I'm sure you're doing that already, an affordable apartment, and see, networking is...
Yeah, I'm on list.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, good luck to you, Tessa.
All right, well, thank you. I just wanted to say that because now, like you said, is it worth still keeping that stuff? It's going on 15 months now, and I have a couple TVs and furniture. And it's like you're paying $175 for a month for how long?
Right. When do you...
That's a whole new apartment.
Right. When is it time to pull the plug? Well, good luck, Tessa. Right. We're pulling for you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks
Appreciate
for calling
you reaching
in
out
today.
Yeah.
I love when people feel moved after a long time of listening to finally call in.
I wish we had a solution. Like, I know of a place for, $950.
Yeah, but
it's tough out there. Listen.
It sure is.
And speaking of where to live and move in and stuff, if you need to sell your house fast and you want to get the most money possible for your house, well, call Robert Dukansky of Remax First Advantage.
Danielle was involved in an estate sale of her parents' home in Roosevelt, for which she was the executrix. She turned to Rob Dukansky and his team for help, and the result speaks for itself. Following 23 showings after only 15 days on the market, 4 offers were made. When all was said and done, the property sold for $550,000. That was $50,100 over the list price,
which was $499,900. I guarantee.
I figured if you're doing the math, you would know that.
Well, not everybody's quick with the math.
Well, that's true. Good point.
I guarantee that you two will have an amazing home selling experience with the Dukansky team, and that's because Rob guarantees to sell your home. Right? Guarantees. Rob Dukansky not only lists your home, but has built in the in-house marketing to drive hundreds of people to your home, creating demand and driving up the price. You need to call the only agent we would call. Who's that, Judi?
Well, his name's Robert Dukansky. He's a miracle man. 855-350-1015. That's 855-350-1015. Or just go online to robsellsnj.com or Google Rob Sells NJ and start packing.
Bat Parks Casino and Sportsbook app, New Jersey. Chime time, 12:09. Dennis and Judi Show. I'm Dennis Malloy. That's Judi Franco.
Yo, how are you people?
How's it going? What's going on?
What's going on?
We had breaking news a little while ago, this morning, that O.J. Simpson died. 76 years old, died of cancer. Was diagnosed with prostate cancer 2 years ago, but that's very curable. I know that because my daughter's in the radiation therapy business, and her first job, we were worried. This kind of a sensitive gal. You'd be seeing cancer patients and maybe some sad, cases. First place she worked was all prostate cancer.
I remember that.
All middle-aged and older men who were there for 9 weeks, 10 weeks, 16, whatever it was. At the end, they go, "My wife said, thank you very much for taking care of me. Here's some tickets to the Rangers game."
Oh.
My wife embroidered you this whole thing. And they would bring gifts from their wife or their business.
So she would really see these men like the same guys over and over again.
Yeah, over and over and over. And you know, it was touching and thoughtful. Like, you took care of me. Thank you so much. And all she was doing was administering the radiation the doctor ordered. But it was hands-on. But so now she's in a job where there's much sadder cases. But the point is that, you know, I've always thought if you had that, you got treatment, you're good. But I don't know if that's what O.J. died from, but he was diagnosed with
no,
it.
but I mean, I do know people have. I don't know, but I mean, I have heard that people have died of that condition for whatever reason.
It's very treatable.
Very, very treatable. My dad had it. In fact,
So did
my
mine.
father's doctor said any man who lives long enough
Who's going to get it?
is going to get it.
Yeah.
But however, there are people who, you know, for whatever reason, I don't know how it works, but there are people who have died of it. However, Dennis, the reason we bring this up, freezing today.
Reason for a reason?
And actually for no reason. That's the worst part of it. But there are people, Dennis, who I wasn't that freaked out that OJ died. Since I feel like he got away with a murder, I'm a little bit like, okay, God, did what he needed to do.
Can you name any other human being where you can be pretty certain in using the phrase "got away with murder"?
No, not really. Maybe Hamas.
Yeah. Okay.
That's about it.
But since O.J. passed away today, we thought we'd ask you: was there ever a time when a celebrity died and it really affected you? Didn't know them, never met them, or maybe you did and you had an autograph or whatever. But when a celebrity died and it really gave you pause and put you in a mood maybe and depressed you.
Yeah, I remember that I was very affected by, for some reason, who was the one, Dennis, who killed herself right when Anthony Bourdain killed himself? It was like the next day.
Kate Spade.
Ah, yes. I don't know why I was so affected by that. I guess because she was young and pretty and successful, and I did not understand. Well, suicide anyway is so sad. I could hardly breathe, but I remember that affected me. And for some reason, I don't know why. And again, Dennis, it's not because I was a big fan. This person meant something to me in my life. But for some reason, when Anna Nicole Smith died, and I guess it was one of those things, again, that was just so shocking. And she just seemed like she was young. And I don't know. It was a very sad life she lived.
Also, the guy who died from 90210 who died in the last few years.
Oh, Dennis, that got to me.
Who?
Luke.
Yeah.
Luke.
Skywalker.
No, Dennis, come on. Luke Skywalker. Luke Perry.
Yes. See, I didn't watch that show.
Matthew Perry.
Yeah. Another one, the Perrys.
But there are some people who probably are affected by OJ because before we knew him as somebody who killed somebody and got away with it, we just thought of him as like a football player and a really good looking guy who parlayed that into,
always liked
movies
him.
And
I always liked him.
Likable,
fun, athletic, handsome, cool.
Everything.
Like that would be a guy I'd want to sit down and have a beer with.
Yeah, who wouldn't?
Before the whole, murder thing.
So that really, so OJ, hearing that he died today, I don't think it really shook a lot of people so much as it might have, and maybe I'm wrong, call me if I am, as a lot of people might have said, I'm so happy that is put to bed.
Was there a celebrity death where you actually remember where you were at the time? Anna Nicole Smith?
John Lennon.
And
Anna Nicole Smith, I was in the mall. My daughter called me. John Lennon. My mother woke me up to tell me.
I was at home, living at home with my parents. I guess I was a kid, watching TV when that happened. In my car in Hamilton when Elvis died.
John Lennon, you weren't so much a kid, though.
I was an older kid. 17?
I thought he died in 1980.
I would have been...
John Lennon.
Yeah. I don't know.
We would have been... I know I was home.
I remember I was home. It was at my parents' house. It was in my car when Elvis died. Listening to
I
the
don't
radio.
really know when he died. I could be totally wrong. Hey, Siri, when did John Lennon die?
John Lennon died December 8th, 1980 at age 40 in New York City.
Wow, I was right, and I cannot believe she's answering, because have you heard her answer me once?
No, she's like, look, here's what I found.
This is what I found. And I'm always like, well, what? I can Google things myself.
Yeah.
I want you to answer
So
me.
she finally answered you. Yeah, and I remember also thinking when he died, like, I never liked him.
Yeah, I didn't like
So
it either.
So when someone dies that you didn't like...
But it still got to me for some reason.
because he was
Beatle.
iconic. Exactly.
Yeah.
And he was murdered in front of his apartment.
Yeah,
that part was shocking. Tony, but I didn't say, oh, good, but it was...
But I kind of said it about OJ. Is that horrible?
No, I mean, that's such a long, twisted, sad
It's
tale.
not that I said, oh, good, but I'm like, I kind of said, like, all right, God took care of it.
Tony is in Tom's River. Hey, Tony.
Is that terrible?
No.
Hi.
I'm a horrible person.
Hi.
I was in a college class, and I just found out that OJ died by turning on the radio in my car. And I'm kind of upset. My parents went to the game where he broke the record. And it was one of the few things that when my dad passed this past year that I had asked him for. He used to collect football cards.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the unripped ticket that my parents from attending that game.
Wow.
And a signed pro book, from when you enter the stadium. And my black Barbie dolls, when I was a little girl, were called OJ. So for me, it's a little bittersweet, upsetting.
Oh, I'm very sorry.
That's so cute,
Yeah,
though.
with the-
Your black Barbies were OJ, all of them?
Yeah, because it was around this time of the Olympics too. That's what's funny is my other ones now would be referred to as Caitlyn, but were Bruce Jenner because it was 1976 during the Olympics, and we watched it as a family, and I had the black and white male Barbie dolls, the Ken dolls, and they were the two big sports heroes back then.
Have you altered the Bruce Jenner doll to now reflect her new identity?
He didn't need to be altered.
Okay, all right. That's a doll. All right. Thank you very much, Tony. Appreciate the call. Wow, that was emotional. That was interesting.
It really was.
All right. OJ passed away today, and was there a celebrity death that really moved you? 1-800-283-101.5. Did not expect somebody to say OJ did, but right out of the box. Yeah, there she is. 1219 free.
Yeah, you guys know how much I love my friends over at Guaranteed Service. I talk about them all the time. I'm Judi Franco, and if you are looking for a company that does plumbing, electrical, and HVAC, and better than anybody else in the business, these are the ones to trust. They're reliable, they are highly trained, and they have proven to me time and time again in my home and in the homes of other people that I've turned them on to that they know their business better than anybody else. So if your outlet keeps tripping, or maybe your toilet's leaking, or even if your HVAC system just stops working, they will come right away, diagnose your problem for free, and if you tell them I sent you, they'll even take $50 off any service. Listen, I promise you will not regret it. Please call them. Tell them I sent you 1-800-GUARANTEED, or go online to guaranteedservice.com.
Thanks, Judy. 1224 celebrity deaths that impacted you. We had death of O.J. Simpson announced earlier today. He died yesterday after a long battle with cancer. So let's talk to Anthony in Chesterfield. Anthony, hello.
Hi, Dennis. Hi, Judy. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
We're good.
Not bad. A coworker of mine got me into NASCAR, and
oh boy, I know where this is going.
Dennis, we were on the air when this happened. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And what happened on a Sunday?
Oh.
Well, we were on the next day. We were talking
The next
about it
day.
because we couldn't understand. Go ahead. So tell everybody what it was.
Well, it happened when I first started working for the post office, and I was out doing Sunday Express that day. And I taped the race, and I went home after I was done working, and I started watching the race. And about halfway through the race, the phone rings. My wife answers it, and she says, stop the race. I said, come on, he's winning. I want to watch.
You're talking about Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah. So I stopped the race, and she says, fast forward to the end and see what happens. And that's where he died.
Wow. Did they stop the race after that crash?
Happened on the last lap.
Oh, it did.
Wow.
Okay.
And I remember, Dan, okay, so I thought we were on the air, but I guess we were on the air. What year was this?
2000.
Yeah.
And
Dan, it
people
was
were-
right before we moved into this building.
Yeah, his
And people
teammate
were
won the race, and they came up to him while he was celebrating in the winner's circle and said, you want to stop celebrating, you got to come to the hospital.
So that's when they started implementing more safety gear inside where your helmet is actually, I forget what it's called. It's actually strapped to the back of the seat.
Yeah, it's called the Hans device.
Hans
It's a
device.
neck restraint system.
Yeah.
And they also instituted the 5-point seatbelt restraint, too.
And people were wearing a number 3 jersey for the longest time, and people were angry. They were like,
They were mad at us because we didn't feel it.
yeah.
We
And
didn't feel the pain that they felt.
yeah, they were angry that not everybody felt the same pain. It was weird. It was a weird feeling. Anyway,
It was like a family member died for me. Yeah.
wow. So we're not in the South. You got into it later in life. What was the close connection that you had to NASCAR?
You're going to laugh. My father died when I was young.
Right.
And somehow I think I started to look up to him as like a father figure. So then when he passed away, I mean, it really hurt.
Wow.
Took me a while.
Wow. That's amazing. All right, Anthony, thank you for sharing that. We appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, take care. Wow.
A lot of people felt that way, Dennis.
When we
And
were
I remember-
dumbfounded. We didn't know why. We'd like, okay.
But it's the same way why, like, when Prince died, we were also on the air together.
He wrote and sang music. You felt it in your heart. This guy drove a car.
Right.
I mean, that's
I didn't under.
that's the difference. That
Right. For us, like,
Right.
that's how I see it. But, yeah, I don't understand. I never understood. I still don't get it.
I'm afraid of saying that now that he just drove a car. I'm going to get hate mail. From
Don't
people.
say it, Dennis.
Yeah. Not that he just drove a car. Artists, actors, they move you emotionally. I don't know. But hey, we're sorry. 24 years later. Janet in Pine Beach. Hi, Janet.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey. Yeah, so mine was Ray Liotta.
Why?
Why? I have the same question. Why?
Because he was an Italian guy in New Jersey, and so was my dad. So my dad died about 7 years ago, and when Ray Liotta died, it was like him dying again.
Oh man. Yeah, where did he go? He grew up in what town did he grow up in, Ray Liotta? Was that Rahway? No.
I'm not sure, actually.
Yeah.
Hoboken?
I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But that affected you because it somehow reminded you of your dad.
Yeah, it makes me sad now even thinking about it. Just like, he was just like, I don't know. He just totally reminded me of him. But Simpson died. It brightened up my day, so thank you.
Oh, that's brightened up your day? That's so funny. But I don't doubt that people are going to feel that way.
Yeah. All right, Janet. Thank you. Appreciate the call. He was born in Newark. And I think he was raised
Den,
elsewhere.
OJ, I said this before, and I feel like a horrible person for saying it. And it's not that I'm happy that he died. It's just that it feels sort of like justice was served, that he took a life, and so now he's dead. You know what I mean? I mean, eventually we all die, and we didn't murder people. But I don't know why. It kind of brightened my day, too. All right, we got to take a little break. We can hear the Ray Liotta interesting stuff later. 1-800-283-101.5 is our phone number. What celebrity death really got to you? Your call's next on New Jersey 101.5, 1230.
Boom, boom, boom. OJ died today. I don't know if you heard. He had a battle with cancer for the last 2 years, and his family announced that he had died yesterday. Some people are happy about that. The funny thing is, now, a lot of people think he got away with murder. So you can say, well, yeah, I'm happy he died. Other people, even if you didn't like them or you thought they did things that were wrong, you generally can't say, like, whenever the big politician dies and they cover it nonstop for like 2 days, no one will ever say, well, he really effed up the country.
Yeah, but that's not a monster. This guy was a monster. OJ was a monster.
Okay, a guy who killed two people, who allegedly, possibly, potentially, more than likely, killed two people, or a man who really effed up the country for a long time and affected thousands and hundreds of thousands of lives.
Sorry.
All right.
To me,
the two people.
Almost decapitating a person is worse.
Okay, I'm just asking a question.
Don't you?
Oh, anybody who kills people is bad, but you're missing my point.
Bad.
You're missing my point.
What?
That when somebody dies, you can never say anything negative about them, even though they may have effed up the country or, changed people's lives in a horrible way. You always say, well, he was quite a statesman and people are coming out from countries all over the world.
But not murderers.
No, but...
Nobody ever said that about Charles Manson.
Well, I gave the eulogy,
and
it was pretty... No, I think he's still alive.
Oh, he's still alive?
Yeah.
Okay,
now,
so
that I would be happy when he dies.
How about Bernie Madoff? Is Bernie Madoff dead?
I believe he died in prison. Let me check that.
Hey, Siri, is Bernie Madoff dead?
Here's what I found.
Bernard Madoff was born April 29th, 1938, and died April 14th, 2021.
Yeah.
So did people say when Bernie Madoff died, no, I still don't, even though he ripped off all those people, it was just as bad as like ruining like what a politician does.
Absolutely.
Just to me, like just being able to, and guess what? Not just murder, Den. You shoot somebody because they're fooling around with your wife, you're angry, whatever. This was like just like an animal.
Yeah, I'm not defending it. I'm just saying this is one of the few times when somebody's died of people don't seem to be afraid to say, I'm happy.
Yeah. Okay, but I'm not happy. I am kind of afraid to say I'm happy. Right. So I'll just say God knew it. God knows the right thing.
All right. Angel is in Trenton. We're talking about celebrity deaths that somehow affected you. Hey, Angel, how's it going?
Oh, Manson is dead, says Pete Torriello.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, Angel. And I trust Pete because he knows everything.
Dennis,
go on, Angel.
Need to get some help. First of all, Dennis need to get some help.
Why?
Because when you said he just drove a car, you know how many people you insulted in that moment.
I know. Now,
he just drove a car. Yeah,
so to explain,
but then you even took that back. You said, "I don't mean he just drove a car."
He did it better than the skill level was higher than anybody else in the world, but the emotional attachment to a singer or an actor where you see and hear and feel their words and their music is different than watching a guy drive at an incredible skill.
The NASCAR fan are more emotional and more passionate about them.
Oh, Angel, the day that we broadcast, we had to put like security around the studio. We were getting threats.
That's why I say, this is nuts. He drove a car. I almost fell out, Dennis. My person is Marvin Gaye. When he died, it affected me. And I remember it was April 1st, right? And I wasn't even into his music. We were outside playing basketball. I was about 14 years old, and I hear Miss Mary, God bless her soul, just yelling and screaming, he's dead. And it was like 6 of us out there. We ran to the back door, which was her kitchen, and we thought somebody was dead in her house. And then she goes, we died, we got killed. She goes, Marvin Gaye. We all just turned around and started laughing. Like, the way she was wailing, I guess she got it on the tape. Yeah, we just started laughing. We were like, Marvin Gaye, tonight's the singer. I'm like, man, let's go. We're playing basketball on a milk crate court. Yep, I remember it like it was yesterday.
So was she just such a huge fan, or did he represent something?
I guess that was at the time of the sexual healing thing, and Miss May was a pretty big woman, and she just lost it. Yeah, that wasn't a song I think she liked. I think it was a sexual healing one.
All right.
Well, maybe Miss Mary got some sexual healing from that song.
I guess so. Hey, Dennis, be careful, man. I'm talking about the NASCAR fan. I want you to get any trouble. I love you.
All right. Thank you, Angel. I appreciate that.
He drove a car. Dennis, you said it like he was part of the fast traffic report.
Thank you. I was comparing why people get emotional for singers and actors, and how do you get that emotional for a driver?
Totally hear you. But do you remember that day, Dennis? We had people cursing us, threatening us.
Yeah.
Because we were basically like, I don't get it.
Right.
And we weren't saying anything bad, God forbid, about it. We're just like, explain to us why this is so important to you.
Yeah. And at that time, and maybe still is, like the number one sport in the country is NASCAR. So.
Oh, and then when we would just be like, we don't get it.
That was 24 years
ago. The day after he died.
Was that 24 years ago? Is that what you said? 2000?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Eileen is calling from Seagirt. Hello, Eileen.
Hello.
Hi.
My guy that broke my heart when he died is Regis Philbin. I have a father who is identical to Regis.
Oh.
Same personality. They both grew up in the Bronx, went to the same high school, Cardinal Hayes. Just great Irish, classy men. Love Notre Dame, football. My brother went to Notre Dame. It just reminded me, I'm going to lose my dad one day. And it crushed me.
Oh. Wow.
Oh, that's so sad.
You know what, to be honest with you, Eileen, I didn't realize he passed away, but it's been 4 years now.
Neither did I.
July 2020.
But then again, I didn't realize Charles Manson did either. Dan, we're not keeping track of our celebrity deaths.
No. Regis, he was around forever. And he was like a host, and he was just like, I wasn't quite sure what he did, but he was great to have around and hosted a bunch of different shows. Of course, Regis and Kathy Lee, but prior to that, he was a local.
Dennis was supposed to be the announcer on that show.
That's right. I got the audition to be the announcer on the Regis and Kathy Lee show. Yeah, in
What happened?
1996. I didn't want to leave this job. And then next year they stuck Judi with me, and I was like, shoot, should have gone with Rita. Should have gone with Regis.
Oh, you guys are the best. I listen to you every day.
Thank you, Eileen. You're a sweetheart.
You.
Thank you so much for the call.
You always made me feel guilty about that, Dennis.
You're kidding me? Regis Philbin. It's been almost 4 years. So what celebrity death affected you greatly? OJ passed away today, and it's affected people in different ways. 12:44, fast traffic in your call.
Dang.
Kyle, come on in for a second. If you would, sir. Because Kyle's 24 and has a different perspective on a lot of things. And the one celebrity death that affected you, and I remember where I was when I heard this, and that's Kobe Bryant.
Correct.
Were you a big basketball fan?
No, which is weird because I had no connection to him. I didn't care about Kobe, watch him win titles or anything, but it was just surreal that he's like an idol for a lot of kids my age. Yeah. It was weird that he was young.
Dying that
especially
way.
the way he died.
Yeah. But I want to tell you something. I didn't even know that Kobe was such a good guy till after he died, but it still got me in the heart. That got me. Because I knew he was with his daughter, and it was the way he died. That was a big one.
So Kyle was saying, with the woman who called, who was upset about OJ passing away, couldn't relate to it, couldn't understand it because he's a murderer.
Correct.
But when you were born way after even the murder trial, correct?
Yeah, I was born like 5 years after that.
So growing up, all in your mind you ever saw OJ in the news about or any word about was that murder.
Yes.
But for the older people who watched him play football at UCLA or USC, I forget, and then Buffalo, and then become a TV star and a movie star, were like, we just fell in love with him. He was a great guy.
Then he murdered someone.
Then he murdered a couple.
It kind of goes all out the wayside when you murder someone.
But that part of the story is missing from your psyche, from your
I know he was like the dude, and OJ was great, and everybody loved him, and he had a lot of friends, and he played golf and all this stuff. But then you murder someone, I think that kind of gets a little forgotten.
But the thing is, you didn't spend your life like. For these people, much more of their life was spent admiring, loving, and worshiping him than thinking of him as a murderer.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if you remember Aaron Hernandez, the guy who played for the Patriots. Like, he was a really good football player, and then he murdered somebody. I don't look back on him and be like, oh, he's a great football player. Like, no, he's a terrible person.
Yeah, he wasn't the scale of OJ.
No, of course not. But
no, I get it. Once if I murder someone, then all bets are off as far as my legacy?
Yeah, I would think so.
All right.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Just keep that in mind, Dan.
Yeah, keep that in mind the next time something happens. Just know your legacy goes out the window if you go one button too far.
Unless it's me. If it's me you murder, people might be happy about it.
All right. So, yes. Ray Liotta grew up in Union, by the way. Union, New Jersey. He was adopted at 6 months. Born in a hospital in Newark. Raised in Union. And if my friend were still in town, he would be, blowing up our phone saying, it was Union. I told you. How do you not know that? Because I didn't grow up in
because
Union.
not everything revolves around that friend.
Well, he thinks so.
I know. But I love him anyway.
Of course. Where are we? Yeah.
Yeah.
So after a 2-year battle with cancer, O.J. Simpson died yesterday, Wednesday. And his family released the information today. And he was
so many people, you don't realize how a celebrity death is going to affect you. I want to say that who am I to judge? And God knows how to treat somebody, to handle somebody, and when to end their life and all this stuff. But I do have to say, I was kind of glad that he didn't get to live to be an old man and enjoy his family.
76 is about the life expectancy of a male in the United States, so he lived out a full life. How old do you think Regis was when he died in 2020?
He was in his 80s.
88.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was up there.
He was old. Good for him.
Good for him. All right.
He deserved it.
Of course.
OJ didn't deserve it.
All right, I hear you. I'm not an OJ apologist for sure.
Oh, I think you're in love with him. Okay, so listen, when it was time for me to get new flooring for my home, I asked around, said where to go, and I'm thrilled that I found Carpet Connection. First of all, I know this family. It's an amazing family business. And the difference when you go to a store like Carpet Connection as opposed to one of the big box stores is the help that you will get and that there are experts there who are going to answer all your questions. Now, they just came back from this international flooring show where they've stocked their brand new warehouse with the latest trends, colors, and styles in both carpet and vinyl. It's the only place that I would ever shop for flooring ever again. Shop early for the best selection. And please tell them I sent you. Their showroom is at 16 South Clifton Avenue in Lakewood or online at carpetconnectionnj.com. That's carpetconnectionnj.com.
Parks Casino and Sportsbook New Jersey Chime Time. 108, Dennis and Judi Show. I'm Dennis Malloy.
I'm Judy Franco. Hey, kids. Thanks for being here with us. We love entertaining you.
Love. So this guy wanted to buy a car. And he went to Newark to buy this car. And two guys met him and said, wait right here. We'll go get the car. They got the car. They came back.
Who listens to anybody who says, wait right here in Newark?
Well, if they're wearing a police uniform and a badge and have a gun, yeah. Other than that,
right.
Well, he tried to run away, and then he was cornered. Yeah, he was cornered by two men and a woman. And
very scary.
Took his stuff. So he got jumped trying to buy a car in Newark. First of all.
Yeah, there's a lot of first of alls.
There's a whole list. Let me get the list up.
100, first of all. And they're all first, by the way.
Yeah, right. So we want to ask you, did you ever buy or sell something to or from a sketchy person? You met them.
Or any stranger.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, how... Dan, I'd like to hear the positive stories, too. Like, does it ever work out?
Yeah.
But, yeah, sketchy person, obviously that story is a lot more fun. 1-800-283-101.5. Today's usually Facebook Marketplace. I think that's, like, the most common...
Sometimes you don't even see the person. They just...
right.
You say, Venmo me the money. I'll leave the thing on the porch. And you just take it when you come.
Right. True. But that's scary, too, because you don't even know if it's there. Like, you're just sending a rando money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or you send the money after. So do you buy and sell things to strangers? Facebook Marketplace, eBay, whatever. Do you buy and sell stuff online? And have you had great experiences every time? Have you had a sketchy experience once? 1-800-283-1015. Were you ever jumped by two guys and a girl?
Would you ever buy or sell anything in Newark is the secondary question. Here's one I think it works really well, Dennis. You sell a car, you sell furniture, you sell a washer, dryer. Like, okay, it could be scary. But when you sell a very niche-y item, like I have a girlfriend who was in the jewelry design business, and she had all these like weird, like niche-y tools. And those things, you're only going to get the guy who needs that weird niche-y tool. Yeah. Nobody's holding you up, and even though they're very expensive.
Well, let's take this call from Bob, and then I'll tell you what you have to do. Because I have something niche-y too, but I could get more money if I go a different route.
I can't wait. Forget Bob. Let's hear your story.
Oh, no. Bob has a fascinating story. He sold his car on Facebook Marketplace. Hello, Bob.
Yeah. Hey, Dennis and Judi. Yeah, that's right. A couple months ago, I sold my car on Facebook Marketplace to a bunch of Russians. A couple Russian people came, and it was the shadiest transaction ever because we're on this like back street in Long Branch. Okay, the two guys that came were not the guy that I was talking to originally, like who responded to my ad. They come, they drive me. I'm in the car. We're test driving the car, and I'm freaking nervous as hell.
Wait a minute. Let's start from the beginning.
Do this?
These dudes come to your house in Long Branch?
Well, I didn't give them my like around my house, like a side street away from my house. Yeah.
Okay, and you met them there with the car, your car, and two guys get in your car.
Two guys get in my car, and they were test driving it with me in my car.
Okay.
Oh, I do not do this.
And
okay.
What was the asking price?
All right, so I was asking $4,000 for it, and they put me on the phone with the guy that supposedly I was talking to on the ad, and he was listening to the engine, and he was telling me, no, this is wrong. I'm going to need. They know what they were doing. These guys were pros. They were in the mafia or something. I was no match for them. Okay, no match for them. And so they did that, and then we negotiated. I wanted $3,400. They're like, no, we're going to give you $3,300, right? And they had all the bills. They took it out at the right moment. They knew exactly what they were doing. They put me on like some kind of Zoom camera so I could sign the title over to them correctly. And sure enough, I go to deposit the money, and all of the money matched except one $100 bill, which would have made it like $3,300. So I'm thinking maybe just out of spite, they gave me one counterfeit bill or something like that, just to show you, like, hey, listen, we wanted to try to stick us for $100, or we want to try to get $100 over on us. We're going to give you a counterfeit bill, just for I don't know, just for particular and stuff like that. But I made it out alive, and I got the money for the car. Thank God.
That sounds like the scariest thing in the world. I am like shaking.
At any point, did you say, no, you know what? I'm holding firm at 4. I got another guy coming later. I'll see you guys later.
No, you don't say that to Russian mafia.
No, Dennis, they knew. They took the money out exactly. It was all like they sold cars. They were telling me they sold cars overseas. They knew what they were doing. They took the money exactly out at the right moment. They saw me. They were reading my body language. I was no match for these guys. Luckily I got 30. The car was shot. I mean, it was a 2018 The car needed like a new head gasket. It was needed a new engine. I couldn't put any more money into it. So I got, a decent amount, but I couldn't hold that afford. No way, man. Not with these guys.
Are you kidding, Dad? He would have been in 4,000 pieces in the trunk.
I don't know. Well, okay. I mean, I wasn't there. It sounds scary, but did you at one point say, I want to get out of this deal and just go home with my own car?
No, I mean, I'm looking for I'm very aware. I'm a pretty big guy. Like I'm looking, around. I wasn't I knew that they were going to pay me and whatnot, but they just probably had a certain amount that they were going to pay in mind and whatnot. And that was it. You know what I mean? Like once we got out of the car and they put their other buddy on the phone and he was going over the problems with the transmission. I could tell he knew what he was talking about. The guy. I'm like, okay, this is legit. These guys are not going to hurt me or anything like that. I'm probably going to get, however, close to what I want. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, but it doesn't sound like these are the type of guys that were leaving without the car. They weren't leaving without what they came for.
Well,
that's a good. It could be. I don't know. One guy was kind of older, but the other guy was younger, and I don't know. I like to think I could have beaten them up, but who knows, man? They're a Russian mob. There's something like that. They sold cars overseas. They imported them overseas to get them fixed. They exported them and they brought them back. Some convoluted thing they were telling me about. So, it was definitely an experience.
Yeah, scary. All right, thank you, Bob. Appreciate
He's
the call.
lucky they bought it because usually what those guys do is just steal it.
Yeah, beat you up and take the car. Yeah, but then there's
they
the whole
pay
title.
They pay a kid $500 to go into the neighborhoods and take them.
And then put it on a container ship to
Yeah.
Moscow at the port of Newark. So I have an older car. Oh, here's the phone number, 1-800-283-1015. 1-800-283-1015. Buying and selling stuff online, what have your experiences been? Facebook Marketplace, eBay, Craigslist, whatever. Has it gone well? Do you have a story to tell? Either how it always goes well or how sometimes it goes sideways. So I have an older car, and it's not worth a whole lot of money. But if I put it on Auto Trader, Judy, I'll get $4,000.
Are you talking about the foreign car?
Yeah.
Well, they're both foreign cars.
Yeah.
The little one?
The little one.
Okay. You want to get rid of it?
Yeah.
You're so stupid.
Why? What the hell?
Because it's paid off.
Of course it's paid off, but it's...
So just have fun with it. I know. Mark has one of those.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to sell it this year. And I'm like, what? It's paid off. It's free.
Well, you still got to pay insurance on it.
Yeah, insurance. Yeah.
Anyway, so if I put it on Auto Trader, I'll get, whatever the Blue Book value. It's not a car you want to sell based on the Blue Book value. It's an older model that's a sports car that has value to certain people. Right. So when I was in California a couple of years ago with my daughter, I was mentioning this car to a guy who's like, I have an Aston Martin. I was like, oh, yeah, I have like an imitation Aston Martin. I told him what it was. He goes, oh, you can get good money for that. Because I was, even then, 2 years ago, I was thinking of selling it.
Okay.
And I said, well, what do I do? He said, go on a site called bringatrailer.com.
Oh, yeah. Did you tell me about this?
Maybe.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, so he said there's guys in Illinois, Nevada, Texas.
Yeah, but you know what the problem is?
Who are looking for that particular kind of car.
But you have to, first of all, you got to take a picture of every square inch of the car.
Detail it and put it,
Put it up on a lift.
Yeah.
They want to see the engine. They want to see the spark plugs. They want to see everything underneath. Then you have to give them this detailed description of what squeaks and what doesn't squeak and whatever. Because I try to do this with Mark's T-Bird because he's dying to sell the T-Bird.
Right.
He also has that little, he has that little BMW convertible.
Right.
That's like an 09. It's literally 200,000 miles on it. But in the summer, it's cute. You have a convertible. He says, I want to sell it. I go, dude, you're not going to even get $2,000 for it. So he goes, okay, let me sell the T-Bird. Somebody goes, bring a trailer. Okay. You ever see the list of photos you got to take?
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot.
So, but can you just sell it on Facebook Marketplace? You could probably get a couple thousand for that.
Yeah. Easily.
People love that car.
All right. Ron, hang on. We'll talk to you next.
I'll buy it.
All right. What have you bought or sold online and how did it go? some guy in Newark got jumped by 3 people trying to buy a car in Newark on the street.
Well, duh.
First of all,
duh.
1-800-283-1015 is the phone number. 19. It's the Dennis and Judi show. Guy got jumped in Newark by 2 guys and a woman trying to buy a car in Newark. Of course, you know, that's the number 1 marketplace for automobiles in the country. The streets of
Usually
Newark.
the marketplace is a little different, though.
Yeah.
Not a lot of money changes hands in this marketplace.
Well, money did change hands. They took his stuff, his belongings, his money, his wallet, whatever. Yeah, it's not smart to show up with a wad of cash in certain places for a car. And townships now, a lot of municipal buildings have a place on the side where, you know, the police station, where you go to the side of the police station. And anybody who agrees to meet you at a police station, probably not going to rob you. However, in this day and age, people are very brazen with their illegal acts. So whatever happened to you selling or buying stuff online from strangers? Ron in Swedesboro. Hi, Ron.
And hello, Dennis and Judi.
Hey.
My story started when I wanted to desperately sell my Saab convertible, and so that means that if I had to go to exit 10 where I live all the way up to exit past New Brunswick, I didn't care. So a guy calls me and says, "Hey, Ron, we got to meet at exit." I said, "Fine." And I remember I was desperate. So I think it was exit, I don't remember, past New Brunswick, way up there near Newark. So I pull over and I'm waiting. And then next thing I know, a car pulls up behind me and I'm getting out. You know, I'm 6'4", black guy. So the guy never left his car. He pulled off. And I said, that's odd. Now all my antennas are up. And now another guy comes 15 minutes later and said, "Hey, let's test drive it." So he gets in my car and I'm letting him test drive it. We're going down the side street. And the next thing I know, he's like asking about the car, and you know, I'm trying to sell it, and it runs fine. Yes, I agree. And we go back to his car, and I never hear nothing more from him. And I think what they wanted to do is, you know, get in the car and just take it and leave me behind. But I guess he's seen that I'm, you know, in shape, 6'4", black eye. I wasn't.
Oh my God!
Ron, when you were driving around the car with him, did you act like a tough guy? Tough guy?
I just a little bit, because I said, yeah, I'm from Philly, and you know what I mean, and do you know about Saabs? And he said this and that, and I'm serious. We went in a factory section, and my eyes was open. I was looking around like, yo, don't make no stops.
Were you scared?
Nah, not really, because the dude was stocky, but he was shorter than me. And you know,
and also, was he young?
Nah, he was in his 30s. So that's why I was looking out for any kind of shenanigans, if I can use that word.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was a little bit worried, because when I pulled up to the right off the turnpike, I'm like, this is nowhere to stop.
That's
and, you know what I'm,
did they have Russian accents?
No, they didn't. But the guy, 2 cars stopped like they was going to, you know, get out and talk to me. And I was like, oh, no, they came. And so I was on guard.
I would have just gotten in the car and said, guys, I just want you to know I'm armed.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's why you're not from the hood, because that doesn't work.
They don't care? That's so funny.
Don't care.
Wow.
But I bet you it does, you know, when you tell them I'm from Philly, that works, because they know you're not some podunk from like the suburbs who's going to be afraid of them.
Do I sound like a educated guy on the phone? Because that's what he might have took. Like, oh, we got this dude. We're going to play him when we get up with him. And then he might have seen that. I don't know.
Yeah, you sound like a dumb white guy.
That's why I love you. Y'all have a very nice day.
Thank you,
I
Ron.
love you,
Appreciate
Ron.
it. Thanks
I
so
love
much
you.
for the call.
That's great, though, that like they think they're getting some nerd, you know?
Yeah.
Because he's well spoken. He sounds really nice. He gets in the car, 6'4", black guy, maybe scary looking. In case he's not, he adds, I'm from Philly.
I'm from Philly.
So they know he's not messing around.
Where they hurt Santa Claus sometimes.
Right, but
Okay.
you know what's freaking me out about this? So I'm armed is not enough for these people.
I used it the other night, and it was enough for me at least.
Yeah, but you weren't in the hood.
I wasn't in the hood, no.
It's so
It was on my front porch. Harry, hang on. Well, I want to hear your story. Buying and selling stuff online is so convenient. It's so easy. It's great. It can get a little sketchy sometimes. We want to hear your story coming up. 1-800-283-1015, 1:30. Dennis and Judi show. Two guys and a woman cornered this guy that was in Newark looking to buy a car. They said, yeah, wait right here. We'll go get it. Come back, and it's two guys and a woman. And he said, you know what? Doesn't feel right. I think I'm going to run. They chased him down, and it wasn't good. So what sketchy situations have you been in buying or selling stuff online? Harry in Howell. Hi, Harry.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. I have a two-part story. I had this. In fact, this is back in the '90s when you first went on the air on 115. I had this old Subaru wagon, and I had basically driven the wheels off of it. It was rusty. It had, most of the exhaust system had fallen off, and it had over close to 300,000 miles. And I had gotten a more modern car, and it was time to get rid of it. So I put it on eBay for $200. And, you know, the usual eBay thing, lots of lookers. And a guy up in the Ramapo area near the New York border bought it. And, you know, there were certain conditions. He had to go to motor vehicle and flip the title and put new plates on it. Well, he showed up in this beat-up car with this strange-looking woman. And I think she was a Jackson White, if you know what that is.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Are they,
Yeah.
wait. Were they albino?
No. As the story goes, they call themselves the Ramapo Indians, but they can't get actual Native American status from the government.
Right. They were mixed with other cultures and been there 200 years on the
British
mountain.
deserters and Native Americans and people like that. They won't submit DNA tests, by the way. Anyway, he has a set of beat-up license plates in his hand, and he just wants to slap them on and drive it away. And I'm like, no, you can't do that. You in New Jersey now, with the way the cops are with inspection stickers, you won't make it 2 miles.
But what did you care?
Because the title was still in my name.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. He's going to go rob banks with it or something, or
Right.
sell meth. So I turned him away and put it back on. The next party that bought it was the polar opposite. This guy drove up from Virginia with his mom and a trailer. He showed up, and I think he was a Marine because he had one of those haircuts. He kept calling me sir, and they were just as nice as can be. Now the car came with a spare engine, so what he was going to do was restore it for his dad, who had a car like that. Now he put the thing up on the trailer, and I told him, look, I'm going to go get my hand truck to pick up the engine and drag it up there. And I went in my shop, and by the time I came out, he had picked up the engine, put it on the trailer, and he was strapping it down. So I would love to see that car today. I actually regret selling it because it was a really cool little car.
Wow.
And I'm sure he restored it.
Great story. Thank you, Harry. Appreciate the call to New Jersey 101.5. And I haven't thought of the Jackson Whites in a long time.
Me neither, but we used to hear about them all the time.
All the time.
Are
I
they
mean,
still
what-
around, or did they?
Well, die off. Yeah, I don't know.
I was thinking die off or assimilate
Into the rest of
into
society.
because listen, how long can they marry each other, right? There are not that many of them. You come off the mountain, at some point you're going to bump into somebody in Mawa, no?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe they all moved to Florida like the rest of New Jersey. There's a colony
Well,
of
for those
Jackson
you don't
Whites in
know,
Florida. Yeah.
We have our own little indigenous population of New Jersey folk here.
And yeah, we'd love to get one on the phone one day because people would call and talk about them like they're Bigfoot, you know? So if you're a Jackson White, maybe tomorrow we'll spend the whole show.
But is their name Jackson White?
I don't know. There's several different names. I remember looking them up before. Several different last names. Mona in Bridgewater sold a bunch of things on Facebook Marketplace. Ever have anything weird happen, Mona?
No, actually, been pretty lucky. I always meet in my local municipal building, which also has like a courthouse and a police station.
Right.
So I let the people know that that's where we're meeting. I don't mention the police station, but I always say that we're going to be meeting in the courthouse parking lot.
Okay. And do you arrive heavily armed?
Just never. No, I don't. Oh. But I always arrive. I always make sure that I get there a couple of minutes after they come. So this way, like they're kind of waiting in the parking lot for me, and they realize that there's a police station right there. And if they're planning anything, then they will just kind of leave. So,
that's
my tactic, and it's been safe so far.
Good for you.
Have you ever had it happen where you got there and they weren't there?
Once in a blue moon, but I usually tell them to let me know when they've started so I don't get there before they get there.
Right.
I don't live that far from the from the building, from the parking lot where we're meeting. So I usually tell them, sometimes they'll have a half-hour drive or a 10-minute drive, and I'll say, let me know when you've started, because I've had a couple of times where they've told me and then nobody shows up. And that's a very common thing that, I think
they don't show up. I think they show up, but they get there, they see it's a cop, they were up to no good, and so they leave.
Yeah. So that's why I always make sure that I get there. I don't get there before they get there.
Very good. All right, Mona, thank you. Appreciate the call to New Jersey 101.5. Sean is calling from Motion Gate. Hey, Sean.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good.
Now, you had kind of a weird, niche-y thing to sell, and I imagine some weirdos would be interested in a Hulk Hogan action figure.
Yes, that's correct. I put it on Marketplace, a Hulk Hogan 1985. It was never opened. That was worth about $275. And also Mr. Perfect, the wrestler Mr. Perfect, he was $160. So, it was a couple $100. And I went to meet the guy at the Woodbridge Center Mall parking lot. I found out that the guy was Chinese and didn't speak any English. He said he had money. He was interested. He wanted to buy both of them. And what happened was he paid me in Chinese currency.
No, stop.
No, he did. And I don't know much about Chinese currency, but I do trust people and take them at their word.
Well, what are you doing at 4:00 today? Because I got some things to sell to you.
It depends. I got some action figures left. What are you interested in?
So it was he paid you in yen. Did you later go and figure out you got the right amount?
No, I later found out that I got robbed.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't real money.
Oh my God.
And then I went to call the guy
Again,
back. And
what are you doing today at about 3:00? We want to sell you something.
Confucius say Americans very stupid. Wow.
Yeah, but it's a learning lesson, and I learned from it.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right, good. Now, but you gave up to Hulk Hogan for fake money?
Yes, and the Mr. Perfect.
Man.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, Sean.
So what I did was I went on eBay, and I was able to get both of the figures that I took a loss on.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing that, Sean. You learned, like you said, lesson learned. Appreciate the call. Guy shows up, doesn't speak English, gives you yen. Not even real yen. You go, yeah, here's my Hulk Hogan never out of the box action.
No, is it
figure.
still yen? Isn't it yuan? Whenever I buy things from China now, it's always like,
Yuan?
yeah.
I always hear on the NASDAQ the yen, it's down
Yeah.
in the yen. The yen is up.
Okay, what is Japan?
Maybe that's the yen. I don't know.
I don't. Hey, Siri. What's the name of the currency in Japan?
Here's what I found on the web.
Japanese yen is the currency of Japan.
Okay. How about China?
The official name of the modern state is the People's Republic of China.
I know the name.
You have to ask the question fully formed.
Hey, Siri. What is the name of Chinese currency?
The renminbi is the official currency of the People's Republic of China.
What is it?
It's the world's fifth most traded
The
currency.
Renminbi, wow.
But when I buy stuff from China, it always says CNY, like Chinese New Yen.
Siri,
Yuan.
would you like it to be the Dennis, Judi, and Siri show? Because we've incorporated you a lot.
Let me ask. Hey, Siri, do you want to join the Dennis and Judi show?
Okay, I found this on the web for Do You Want to Join the Dennis and Judi Show? Check it out.
It says listen to Dennis and Judi live here.
That's too good. All right, listen. Dennis here, and if you're facing plumbing, electrical, or HVAC problems at home, consider giving Guaranteed Service a shot. Whether it's your HVAC acting up, a pesky leaking faucet, or a troublesome tripping outlet, they'll swiftly diagnose your issue for free. Plus, when you mention New Jersey 101.5 that we sent you, then they'll even slash $50 off any service. Don't hesitate. Reach out to the experts at Guaranteed Service today. Call 1-800-GUARANTEED or visit GuaranteedService.com. It's the New Jersey Time Check, sponsored by SellYourCarNow.com. It is 1:53 on the dot. And at SellYourCarNow.com, they'll give you cash for your car on the spot. You're listening to the Dennis and Judi Show. Never imitated, never duplicated.
Well, which is why it's never imitated.
Right.
But if it were to be imitated, it probably could be duplicated.
It would sound
It's not rocket science.
So the history, for those of you who don't know, and this hasn't come up here in a long time, but it used to come up periodically, right, Judi, from time to time?
I don't know, because I don't know what you're going to say yet.
Oh,
I don't
Jackson
read your
Whites.
mind.
I'm sorry, the Jackson Whites.
Oh, okay.
Right? It seemed like it has been
we
years.
We haven't talked about it in 20 years.
Yeah. History and Legends of the Jackson Whites. This is from Weird NJ.
Are they all dead?
I don't know. Ever since the Revolutionary War, there's been stories of a degenerate race of people who live an isolated existence in New Jersey's Ramapo Mountains.
They're degenerate?
I don't know. That's how it's written in NJ Weird NJ.
Okay.
This motley group. Are they motley? I don't know. That's what it says. Motley.
This person is not very impressed with this group.
No. This motley group of social outcasts who had taken refuge in the northeastern hills of the state and inbred to the point of mutation. The group.
Nuh-uh.
That's what they said.
They're not.
The group, which has been alleged to be comprised of a mongrel hybrid of renegade Indians, escaped slaves, Hessian mercenary deserters, and West Indian prostitutes, have come to be known as the Jackson Whites.
Wow.
I'm going to do. You know what? I'm going to do a post on them because people
You really should.
Apparently, nobody's really delved into this for a while. But
I
it's
didn't
a
know
long
they were
history.
all those things.
Yeah, I like the.
Does it say they still exist? Because if they're that inbred and deformed and all these things, maybe they just died out.
Hessian mercenary deserters and West Indian prostitutes.
Both of those two great punk bands I loved in college.
Yeah, my father was a Hessian deserter and my mother was a West Indian prostitute. Yeah, quite a colorful background.
Disgusting. They might be listening to us right now.
Yeah, if you, like I said, we should devote a whole show
And
to
why are they called Jackson Whites? Their name is Jackson and White. And they have white hair. No. They have red hair.
Right.
Freckles. Very pale. And maybe they have like kind of black features, but very pale, red-headed, freckle-faced as well. Right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And they're living up there in the Ramapost.
Still, we don't know. I'm going to do an investigative report.
If any of you guys are listening, any of you Jackson Whites, give us a buzz.
Matter of fact, the Jackson Whites are next. No, it's Dominski and Doyle.
Oh,
Not to be confused. Love you, Judy. I'll see you on Monday.
Okay, love you.
See you.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This has been the Dennis and Judi Show on demand. Thanks to our sponsor, Value City NJ, with 9 locations in New Jersey, or online at valuecitynj.com. Don't forget to check out the latest news and opinions from Dennis and Judi on our free app or NJ1015.com.
New Jersey 101.5.